So I'm going to attempt to make the blade cover for this sheath out of just plain cardboard. Cover it later, see if it works. Of course, all this stuff is new to me. I've never really tried it, but I just put things together and see how they turn out. So just four pieces, 1, 2, and then one for each side, thin piece. So I'm going to draw this out and see how it looks. So we have the first side. I'm going to just trace it out for the second, and after that I'll do the 2 pieces between, so it turns into the sheath. So here are the 2 pieces, and then I need to make something that goes around the whole deal, and I'll tape it up. So here are the 2 sides and the centerpiece. It's not long enough, but I'll just add some extra. I went to try to get as much tape on the inside as possible, just because it's probably difficult to paper mache or whatever over the tape. So the interior tape just wasn't holding too well. I took some electrical tape and started wrapping it, but then I ran out. I think it'll work. Right now I'm going to just trim the edges of these to make it a little bit more rounded to fit this interior section. Wasn't quite long enough, I think. So here is it all taped up. It's really large. I don't know. A lot of space. I could stick some foam or something inside, but I think I want to, I don't know, maybe cut this in half again and try to make it fit better. So what I figured out after I cut it in half is that if I put one over the other, it will fit nicely, especially in the bottom, because it'll be a lot thinner, so it'll have a curve to it. And I'm just going to use some more substantial tape to tape around the whole thing, and I think that'll work. So I taped it up quite a bit, and you see it fits a lot better, and it looks more like the actual prop the sword that he should have. So I'm going to probably try some paper mache over this thing, see if it sticks to this. I might sand it a little bit. So I started using the paper mache on the sheath for the dagger. What I do usually, I don't really know the proper percentages of flour and all that, but I just use simple flour with water, and I want it pretty thin. I don't want super thick paste. So this time I had a phone book to use, and actually I think the phone book paper works a little bit better than newspaper. It's a little thinner. So here decided just to put 2 coats right off the bat. Maybe that's probably a bad idea, but we'll see how it turns out. Leave it overnight, and then I'll do 2 more. Probably want to put a little bit more than I did on the sword. Here's the sword with fully dry there, and next step was gesso. As you can see here, I had it on a coat hanger, just trying to finish off little bits, and there is the fully gessoed sheath. Put 2 or 3 layers of gesso. Now I'm going to start painting the black. Hopefully that'll be enough. I assume so. Do a few coats, and then I'll think about the accents of gold that it has on the actual dagger that he uses in show and such. Here's the first layer of black acrylic paint. I think I might need 3 coats or so. Hopefully there'll be enough. We'll see. Here is it fully painted with the black paint. I started trying to make the details using just some simple tape as a guide so I can get straight lines for the most part. Let's see the tape on. The top one I took the tape off and it worked decently well. Here I'm doing more, moving down to the other area. I was just kind of guesstimating on how it should look, because there's so many different designs of the one Sheath thing, either the manga or the anime. So I did just the lines that I wanted, and then I started adding a crisscross pattern to some of the areas. Kind of messed that up a little bit, but it was fun. There I use a template to help me get those crisscross lines. Here is the finished sword with the sheath. It turned out alright, all things considered, being my first ever DIY prop.